Perfect. So to James's point, yes, today I'd love to talk to you guys kind of what to think about as an individual contributor today and what that step might look like in a leadership and really just how to prepare for that. So before we do get into it, quick safe harbor statement. ZoomInfo is a publicly traded company. Just don't go making investments based on today's presentation. Now, with that out of the way, just a little bit about myself. So I'm actually based here in the States. I'm in Michigan. And to James's point, the reason why this was a near and dear topic for me is I've had the pleasure while working at ZoomInfo to really make that transition. As James had mentioned, in 2017, I came in as an account executive. I did that at a high level. In 2018, I was able to be a team lead, which basically is your own quota, but with a couple people that you're coaching and you're developing. And then the next 3 years after that, I had the opportunity to lead teams of about 8 to 12 reps where I was helping develop, coach, and sell with those reps. And then in the beginning of this year, I took over a senior leadership role where now I cover all of Europe, Middle East, and Canada. And so that requires a lot of coffee for me because I'm waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning, talking to clients all over the world and just making sure that we're able to support them. And when I talk with reps, when I've talked to people on my team and I've helped people get promoted or make that transition to the next level, there's certain things that I always talk to them about and coach them on that I thought could be helpful for the greater team here. So I think the first thing that you really need to just consider is, does it make sense for you? And does going into this role align with your objectives, your goals, and your ambitions? And what I mean by that is, a lot of times I talk to people and they think, hey, going into leadership is the path I want. It's the only path I should go down. But I've had a lot of reps that wanted to stay rock star individual contributors. And some of the big reasons why you might stay in IC is the freedom, right? If you are a high performer, you probably get the opportunity of flexibility of when you come in, when you take off, what your schedule looks like based on your customers, how long of a vacation you take, because everything is around your number and your performance. And people love that freedom. Because a lot of what you do is tied to the business's revenue, you're also compensated for that. So oftentimes my highest performers are making more money than my management team as well. So the money's there. And then oftentimes I find that individual contributors like to have their own control. They want to be able to dictate how their sales process looks, how they do their follow-ups, how they present pricing, how they negotiate, whether it aligns maybe to the company structure or to their own. They want to have that control. And that's where it makes sense to probably stay as an IC and make that money and do the things you love. Now, if you're thinking about leadership, the three things that I typically see as really good signs that leadership might be right for you is you want to make a bigger impact. You have ideas, thoughts, things that can help make the business grow, develop, make it better. You want to help others level up their skills. You're producing at a high level in your current responsibility. You want others to get to that level and you want to help others achieve success. And then selfishly, you want to grow yourself. As an individual contributor, you might learn and master your role and responsibility, but you want to be able to challenge yourself and flex past what your skill set is, having difficult conversations, looking making forecasts, understanding where to pivot your business, understanding where you might need to hire new people, let people go. Things around that are just different challenges than what you might face as an IC. Now, if that is something that you want to do, there is a path that you should take to get there. Number one is make it known early to your leadership team that this is something on your radar. And what I mean by that is, are you letting your leadership team know that this is on your career path and this is what you want? They're going to help you get there. Also, when new opportunities and expansions open up, they'll think of you versus maybe going externally. Once you've made it known, make a game plan with your manager. Hey, what does that action plan look like? What do I need to improve on to take that next step up into leadership? Have trackable KPIs to show, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is how I'm going to do it. And here's the timeline that I'm going to execute against this. And then make sure that you're checking down with your leadership team to pivot or make changes where it's needed. And then once this is all in place, you still need to execute and contribute at a very high level. A lot of times the peers amongst you today are going to be people that you might potentially lead one day. Build confidence with them as that you might be a great leader one day. Be a role model. When the company has new pricing, a new presentation deck, new talk tracks, a new product they're rolling out, be the first one to step up and take that initiative and try it. And again, level up others around you. As ZoomInfo, we use Chorus and we share snippets all the time amongst our team on talk tracks, competitor conversations, how we're going for the close to make sure that our team is scaling up as one. Now, some of those common first mistakes that I see when you do take that first step into leadership and things that you'll want to try to avoid. The biggest thing that I see is trying to do everything yourself, trying to be Superman, knowing that you could do it as an IC, but knowing that it might be different as a leader. Instead of you sending that email, making that call, doing this and doing that, teach your team how to fish. Help them be a bunch of you. Multiply yourself across your team so that everyone can continue leveling up. When joining that new team, don't make changes too quickly to the business. Sit back, understand what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what challenges is this team facing, where can I make a small pivot and see a large ROI on the back end. Make sure that you're meeting with your team on a consistent basis. I need to meet with my team on a weekly basis to understand what are the challenges and the headwinds they're facing. What are we hearing about competitors? What's the economic climate like? What's wrong with our platform and what can we improve so that I can go and eliminate those roadblocks for my team down the road. Know that your long-term goals are more important than your short-term goals as a leader. As an individual contributor, you might be able to pivot very quickly on a new talk track or how you do something in a demo. But when you're leading a larger team, it takes much more time to pivot that team and that strategy. So looking at things like data and understanding, hey, if this is where I want to be at this time, what changes do I need to make now to get my team there? And then lastly, just making sure that you're really allocating your time effectively. And what I mean by that is my old leader used to say, if I spend 30 minutes with someone, I want to get a 2x ROI. So to spending 30 minutes on a closing call with your rep and helping them win a one-off deal give you a better ROI than spending 30 minutes with that rep, coaching them, helping them on closing tactics and letting them go and run that for the next 5 sales calls that week. What's going to give you a bigger lift long term? So just being really protective with your time. So again, in summary, if you guys are thinking, hey, leadership might be for me, first, just make sure that those goals and ambitions align to what a leadership role actually looks like. If it does, build that path, work with your leadership, put together a game plan, and then execute against it. And then once you do move into that leadership role, don't make the mistakes of other leaders. We've already done it. We know how to be better about it. Multiply yourself, understand what your business is going through, strategize at a higher level, and make sure that you're managing your time effectively.